Chapter 3. Sela. The skeptic Dr. Sela. Marin preferred machines to people. Machines behaved. They obeyed laws. They didn't cry or pray or proclaim miracles in tents in the middle of nowhere. They didn't tremble when they breathed, or stare into empty air as if listening to secrets leaking from the universe. Machines did exactly what she asked of them, nothing more. Which was why she stood rigidly inside the makeshift research trailer, arms folded across her lab coat, glaring at the ancient EEG scanner she'd been forced to use. The equipment was outdated, the desert power unstable, the canvas walls flimsy, and the volunteers, Aaron Shiloh's newest disciples, were already whispering prayers outside. Sela checked her watch. Still 20 minutes before her next scheduled scan. Plenty of time to remind herself why she was here, not to become part of the frenzy, not to seek hope, not to be healed, but to expose a fraud. Outside, she could hear the low hum of the gathering crowd. Some sang, some wept, some waited with the tense anticipation of gamblers before a final hand. Aaron says he can awaken what sleeps in us, one disciple had told her earlier. Just wait until you see the patterns in our minds. Patterns. Sela snorted softly. Every brainwave had patterns. The human brain was an electrical storm. Messy, unpredictable, chaotic. She'd spent her life trying to understand that storm, ever since her brother Daniel had drowned when she was 16. He had been revived for 32 seconds before slipping away again. Those 32 seconds were still etched in her memory, his eyelids fluttering, his lips moving silently, the faintest ghost of a smile. Something had returned to him. Something had then left again. That moment drove her into neuroscience, into research on near-death experiences, into years of debunking charlatans who claimed to bridge life and death. This man, Aaron, would be no different. She reminded herself of this as she turned on the EEG monitor. The machine flickered uncertainly, coughing static before stabilizing into pale green lines of data. She read the last scan results displayed on screen. Impossible. She blinked. The patterns were too clean, too synchronized. Alpha waves merging with gamma activity in a formation unlike anything in standard human neuroelectrical mapping. It resembled something between deep meditation, lucid dreaming, and the neural resonance seen seconds before death. She leaned closer. No. Not possible. Not repeatable. Not real. She tapped a few keys, bringing up the scans from the previous subjects. They were similar. Too similar. 5 different people. 5 nearly identical patterns. Her skin prickled. "Dr. Marin?" a voice said quietly behind her. She turned sharply. A young woman stood in the doorway, maybe 20, maybe younger, wearing a plain desert shawl. Her posture was awkward. Shoulders hunched as if she were trying to fold herself inward. "My name is Leora," the girl said. "I think I'm next." Sela gestured impatiently toward the metal chair and electrodes. "Sit. You know the procedure?" Leora nodded and settled into the chair. Sela began attaching sensors across her scalp, temple, forehead, crown, occipital ridge. The girl smelled faintly of the desert herbs Aaron burned during his gatherings. "What exactly does he teach you?" Sela asked, unable to keep the edge from her voice. Leora smiled faintly. "He teaches us to breathe." Sela rolled her eyes. "Everyone breathes, not like this," Leora said quietly. "He teaches us how to breathe into the place we forgot." Sela paused, fingers hovering over the last electrode. What place? The place before fear. The answer unsettled her more than she wanted to admit. She attached the final electrode and turned to the monitor. Green lines danced across the screen as the EEG captured Leora's baseline. "Relax," Sela said. "But don't meditate, just breathe normally." Leora closed her eyes. The lines shifted. Sela frowned. The girl wasn't meditating. Not in any conventional, measurable sense. But something was happening. Her gamma waves were rising, synchronizing, forming a pattern so precise it could have been designed by a mathematician. "Stop," Sela said. "You're altering your breath." "I'm breathing as Aaron taught me," Leora replied. "I said breathe normally. This is normal now." Sela's jaw tightened. She moved closer to the monitor. The brainwave resonance was intensifying, a slow, rhythmic pulse. It was building towards something Sela didn't recognize at all. "How long have you been doing this?" she asked. "Since the night he touched my forehead and said, 'You have remembered before.'" Sela's hands froze. Remembered. The word slid coldly down her spine. "Did he instruct you to reach this state?" Sela demanded. "No," Leora murmured. "I just fall into it when I breathe the way he taught us. And what does it feel like?" The girl opened her eyes. They glistened with something Sela could not define. Peace, or madness, or something stranger. "It feels like waking up in a room I lived in long ago," Leora whispered. "Like recognizing the walls even before opening my eyes." Sela's pulse quickened. She forced herself to look away and focus on the data. The pattern had stabilized into something she had only read about in fringe research papers: pre-death neurological coherence. Except Leora wasn't dying. She was breathing. Sela swallowed hard. "This shouldn't be possible." Leora said nothing. Sela leaned closer to the screen, eyes narrowing. "What did he tell you this is? Some kind of trance?" "No," Leora said. "He told us this is what the mind does when it remembers how to return." Sela's chest tightened. Return. The same word in his teachings. The same word whispered in the headlines. The same word Aaron had spoken calmly in front of thousands. She turned off the machine abruptly. Leora flinched. "Did I do something wrong?" "No," Sela said quickly. Too quickly. "You can go." Leora hesitated. "He told us you would fight this at first." Sela stiffened. "He? Aaron?" Sela advanced a step toward her. "And what exactly did he say about me?" Leora met her gaze with unexpected confidence. "That you would come to disprove him," she said softly. "And then you would be the one to explain him to the world." Sela's heart struck her ribs. "You can leave," she said sharply. Leora bowed her head and slipped out of the tent. Silence settled again, heavy, burying. Sela turned back to the screen. The last recording still glowed on the monitor. Impossible, elegant, defiant of everything she knew. She exhaled shakily. She hated that part of her. The part she had spent years locking down was stirring awake. Curiosity. Dangerous, treacherous curiosity. The kind that had burned her once before. She stood alone in the dim tent, surrounded by data she could not explain, and a desert alive with something she did not believe in. And yet, as the night deepened, Sela whispered the truth she would never say out loud. "I need to see him." She needed to see the man whose disciples breathed like the dying but lived like the awakened. She needed to see Aaron Shiloh. She needed to know what he had unlocked.